Hey, 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 it's Shop Talk, baby. This is the show where it's okay to be you. We're talking from Yale to jail and from the church house to the pimp house. Nothing's excluded on Shop Talk. So if you don't have a phone, I suggest you borrow one. Call in and voice your opinion live every Saturday morning from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Yeah, that's right, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Don't forget to Shop Talk with your girl, because right here, we keeps it real. Good morning to my lovely people. Happy Saturday, ladies.
Good morning.
Happy Saturday.
Hey. You know what? I want to put this out here real quick. Good morning to my lovely people. I said that already, but I want to tell you again, if you're just now coming on, we've got a great show planned for you today. Of course, we're going to talk about the hot topics, which is your, Little Mermaid, the air quotes for my listening audience, The Purge, just a lot of stuff. Of course, we're going to talk about the Queen just for a little bit. Matter of fact, I think we need to jump right into that real quick. The Queen will be buried tomorrow, for those who care. Do you ladies care?
No.
No! Do you think it's a long time? Do you think this whole thing is a long time and carried out?
She's been dead for what, 2 weeks now? 3 weeks?
Uh-huh.
I think that's normal. I think past a month is extra, but a couple weeks, people want to. Even if she wasn't the queen, in a normal death, you want to try to give people at least a week or two, like family, to come say their goodbyes or whatever if they're from out of state or whatever. So I don't think waiting a week or two or 3 is.
Well, she's. People are coming to see her and all that good stuff. Some people that I spoke with, they feel as though like, oh my gosh, when is she gonna put her away already? The black Twitters, okay, they're like, put her away already. My goodness, but the our queen, Aretha Franklin.
That was the longest funeral.
Listen, she let me know. That's how I was prepared for the Queen. I was like, oh, okay, She educated us in advance because we're like, what in the world? She did it like the Queen. Everybody coming around. You watch it about 2 weeks later, then another month. I was like, oh gosh. So it wasn't known to me that that's what you do. But now I'm seeing. I was like, okay, she did it. So give it to her. That is so funny. You hear Annette in the comments. Annette Williams talk about some resume regular broadcasting. Please. Yeah, you were like, what we gonna do? All right, let's hop right into.
Wait, and she said she stayed out too and changed clothes.
Oh yeah. Well, that's what happened. Though. She did that. Look.
Okay.
She definitely did that. Yeah, okay, somewhere along the line I'm getting feedback because I hear it and I can't figure out where it's at. Let's see. We should be good. All right. Hello?
Okay.
Yeah, it's an echo or something going on. Yeah. Is it on? It must be on extra devices or something, or in the car, turn down or something. I don't know. But we got to keep going. So what I'm saying is this. Let's go back. Let's jump right into this whole Little Mermaid thing. Now, I did see I did see where they had the little children on TikTok. And that is so distracting. I apologize to the listeners right now. I really do. This is so distracting. Let me see what's going on here because this is too much. Let me see if that's it. Amber, testing.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
That's on Nick's end.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it's on Nick's end. Okay, look, even the people in the comment like wonderful things. They get right. Yeah, it's on Nick's. Probably go out and come back in, Nick, and see if that works because it was a lot. So for Little Mermaid, I saw on TikTok and everywhere they showed I guess it was like a brown girl challenge where they had, the little girls seeing the mermaid for the first time. And they were like, oh my gosh, she's black. Well, on the other end of it, people are really upset. Extremely upset. Like, why is she black? The mermaid wasn't black, Yeah. What's your thoughts on that?
So I would say on the negative end of the spectrum, why can't we have an original story, Disney, instead of recycled? And then on the positive end of the spectrum, y'all quit hating because white people have played people of color and non-white people all throughout cinematic history in America. So, I mean, just that's not, 50 years ago, 60 years ago, when there were still black and white movies. I mean, just recently, freaking Scarlett Johansson played a character that was supposed to be Asian, who I think was also fictional. And these non-melanated individuals were like, y'all need to calm down. It's just fiction. Get over it. But now we're talking about a little brown mermaid, and adults are upset. So that's my perspective of it. But I haven't seen it yet. But I have.
Well, the trailer was just released.
Huh?
The trailer was released. Disney released the trailer, so that's what we're looking at, the trailer.
I'm excited. I'm definitely going to go see it. I'm also going to go see it in theater, pay full retail price, just to prove a point and be petty. But
what point are you going to prove and to be petty?
How the movie industry works. That's how the actors actually get the highest paycheck.
Right.
Their theaters, when it goes to DVD, bootleg, and obviously, like, that money is not getting to the actors. And I know that the Bailey sisters are not primarily actors, and this is kind of like her debut into acting world. But I do want to support her, especially because she's rocking the natural hair.
No!
But, I mean, yeah, I think the worst thing about it is that it's not an original story for a princess of color, a black princess. But, get over it. Because white people, I mean, that's not my opinion. That's just factual. White people have played real life people, not fictional characters, all throughout history. So you're not allowed to get that upset over something you've done for decades. Sorry.
Not sorry. I'll finish it for you. Well, you know what though? Here's the thing. You brought up a good point, and that was that it's recycled. Yeah. I'm that person that, can we have a new, create something different with the new actress?
Disney's been lazy for the past 10 years. They done came out with 8 reboots? They did live action Beauty and the Beast, live action Cinderella, live action something else, live action Aladdin with Will Smith. They did something else live action. Disney done got real lazy over the past decade. So it's not just The Little Mermaid.
Okay. I'm with you on that. Let me tell you what upsets me. I could be watching, I remember I used to watch the stories. And I remember when Jack left off, the original Jack from The Young and the Restless. So that's who I was introduced to. But then they come in with this new one. I'm like, that's not Jack. So, with that being said, looking at it from another perspective, pretty much what you were saying, it's like it was already done. And I'm with you on the reboots. I'm so sick of the reboots. I'm like, we ain't even had time, though. Did you just give us time to forget it and say, oh, I remember that. I'm currently watching that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I just like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And they did the reboot. And I'm like, I just watched it the day before yesterday. It's still on.
Right. It's still reruns.
Yeah. I'm like, and it's still relevant. So the things that are relevant, it's like, these things are relevant right now and you want to reboot them. Can we just start something different instead of taking what already is and making it to what you want it to be? And why the separation?
Right. I also wanted to say, not only that, particularly with the reboot of The Fresh Prince, I was just like, because it's like, why can't you come up with why can't they support original stories? Because, it's all about the money and getting finance. There are lots of black creators making original stories and screenplays. They're just not getting that support because because it's so money driven. I think that the financing businesses want to play it conservatively and only put their money behind something they feel confident is going to make a return on their investment. But I, particularly as a sci-fi fan, I would love to see more Black sci-fi. It's such an underserved genre. I just wanted to throw that out there. Even in books, even in literature, I have to dig and find.
So answer me this question. Is it about the actual, since you said sci-fi, is it about the actual movie? Or is it actually about color?
I don't know, because there are some Black films that really did perform well in the box office. I feel like you have to, if it's about money, you have to have a diverse cast. Representation matters, and when the non-Black people don't have representation, they notice it. Okay, but when we're not represented, it's like, oh, stick a pie in it and be quiet. So I think if you want a film that has the greatest appeal, it does need to have a diverse cast and representation. And I feel like, from what I understand, the Little Mermaid reboot does have a diverse cast. It's just that the main character wasn't Caucasian, depicted as a Caucasian. So
that's what you, okay. I appreciate that. I appreciate your view. Nick, what's your thoughts on it? Is it about the movie or is it about the color?
For the others, it's about the color. I mean, it don't matter. It's a movie. They're remaking a classic. It shouldn't matter what color the mermaid is. I mean, I saw somebody post a meme like, why do they have a problem with the mermaid being black, especially after throwing all those Africans in the ocean when they brought us over here?
See, I know what's up to that. Yeah, I was about to say I was about to say a joke, and it probably wouldn't have went over well. But I'm like, is that the last one? You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Yeah, I know.
Are you surprised the mermaid is black after throwing all our ancestors overboard, bringing us over here? For real? Like, really? Y'all, it's a character, a Disney character.
But okay, right. Now I still have to go with it being like Miss Doubtfire. Okay, Miss Doubtfire.
Yeah, you can't redo Miss Doubtfire.
But and see that, so because we saw it. So like the younger generation, they didn't see the Little Mermaid, the original. So this is who they see, and it's almost and it makes you say, what's the real issue? Like, we saw it, and for me, I'm like, oh, I saw it, so it's already in my head what the Little Mermaid looks like. But for our little brown girls out there, this is their very first time, and this is what they see. And here's what's interesting. I'm going to be honest with you. When I was looking at the reaction, I was so shocked. Because for it to be 2022, and they're like, she's black.
Exactly.
That is the part that, but listen, but they don't, they're kids. They're little children, little girls.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the adults.
No. I'm talking about them, and they're like, she's black, and I was really shocked.
But the kids are loving it, though.
Right. No, this is what I was shocked about. That they were surprised that she was black. Because now let me finish my point. Here's the thing. There's so many things out there. There's so many cartoons out there as well. But what are you allowing your child to see that's the question. And that's where I went. I was like, okay. Now, we did have a comment concerning when I said Ms. Doubtfire. Go ahead. You want to read the comment, Amber? With Annette. Wasn't most maids and nannies black? Yeah, and they changed the character. Thank you, Annette. You following me when I was talking about Miss Doubtfire. But seeing it, and it was a white guy that actually played it, but we saw that. So now, if we know from our history who was raising the babies, okay? We saw that. And then you see the movie. The movie was a great movie. I enjoyed it. I saw Miss Doubtfire. Boom. But to go back, that would be a controversial movie. If they decide to reboot that and star a black nanny, that would be an issue. And that's probably why they used a white guy or a white person in general for Miss Doubtfire. Because I can already see how that would have went. Just imagine.
Yeah, it was an issue for us in the first place. We tried to get away from that stereotype of always being and playing maids and nannies and everything else, because that's what our people went through. So yeah, I can see that. But then again, on the other side, they would have a fit because and be like, and that's where we could turn it. Didn't y'all? It wasn't that what y'all always casted us as anyway.
Yeah, some people can, and then you have a divide. It's so crazy how the divide is like it's always an issue. It is always an issue. It's like for every but here's the thing though. Even and I'm not downplaying the situation at all, so don't take it that way. But it's just like that example with the Doubtfire. It would be an issue if a black person played it, and then it'd be like, I'm not supporting that. You know, oh, it's a black, like what Amber was saying. Okay, well, this is what we'll do. You know, I'm going to go and be funny and petty, and I'm going to pay for her ticket so that she can get the ticket sales. We're talking about Holly Bailey, right? Because you know who's embedded in my head, Holly Berry. So every time I hear that name, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, to support her in this movie. Here's where I'm going with that regarding like the whole Doubtfire. It's like, okay, we'll let a white person play it. That way it won't be controversial, and we don't want to throw it in somebody's face, even though we want it to be a movie. We want it to be a movie. We don't want to offend anybody. So then you flip it, and it's like, just like what Annette was saying, well, we weren't we, nannies and maids back then? And then that will be an issue if they recast or rebooted that and recast that. Now back to the Little Mermaid, what we're talking about with her situation. You want to support her because she's black, but what about this young girl who's like, she's breaking away into acting, and the people that don't agree with her being black, that's like tearing up her self-esteem. All she is doing is playing a role. How do you think that could potentially affect her?
First of all, she was selected, and she just went and auditioned she was cast for that role, and she auditioned amongst many other actors for that role. So, I mean, they take it up with Disney, be mad at Disney.
I mean, Disney is trying to be inclusionary, if that's a word, of all races and everything else, sexuality. So they're trying to keep up with the time, and it's like, basically, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Because if you're trying to keep up and be politically correct, there's going to always be a bunch of criticisms and negativity. If you don't do it, then on, the other end, there's going to be a bunch of criticisms and negativity. So basically, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. And that's in society, period.
Disney making money.
Exactly.
That's what it is. Disney is making money.
I mean, all this negativity is not stopping their dollar, not one bit. Because you have those who are fighting against it, and you have those who go, why are they fighting so hard? Well, it's a black girl,
That would be your Amber D. That'd be your Amber D. Like, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to support her. Yes, you do want to go to the theater. It's about the role. So we haven't even seen the role yet to see how talented she is. You hear the beginning part, and then you see her, and it's like, that's wrong. And you do have people that are out there feeling like that's wrong, and it's sad.
Well, I think we have seen her talent because she is a talented singer, and a big part of Ariel's character is the singing portion of it. And I do, because she has a very, in my opinion, she has a very heart-shaped face and wide-set eyes. She definitely fits the Disney princess character mold as far as her facial structure. I really think that, she's petite, so it's just like, yeah, it's just literally just her race.
Well, me, loving the arts, I need to see her acting. Because you have great people like Beyonce. Beyonce probably gonna be after me. Beyonce, I I like Beyonce. I do. Acting, not so much.
I think she, which anyone would do and should do, she bit off a role that was bigger than her skill set in acting. I don't think she was prepared for a lead. If we're discussing the movie that I think we're discussing.
Yeah, we are. And that's what I'm saying. So, and I see like in the comments where they're saying, yeah, she's, talented. She could sing, but there are singers that cannot act. There are rappers that cannot act. So just because you are talented in this area does not automatically make you talented over here. Go ahead, Nick. What you got?
I'm just agreeing with you. Just because you have musical ability does not mean you have that acting ability. Because some of them, for lack of a better term, suck. Like, seriously, Beyonce. It depends on the character. She's okay, but it depends on the character. Now,
it should not. It should not in acting. It should not matter. Because if you are an actor or an actress, you take on that role. Angela Bassett, phenomenal actress. I thought I was watching Tina Turner. Okay, I was like, oh, that was, I mean.
Stella got her groove back. What?
But all of them, she's phenomenal. So there's an actress, so everybody can't just go from singing to acting. I just wanted to point that out when I hear, oh yeah, she's talented. Yeah, she can sing. She has a beautiful voice, but I need to see the acting. So would I go just because she is black? No, I will go just to see the movie. And I'm one of those people like, what's that one? Dreamgirls. Now, I saw Dreamgirls and it was redone. Of course, it's a production. And I gotta be honest, you had heavy hitters in that film. But I'm like, no. And they were singers. And I understand it was a musical. I still say it was not that grand. And listen, the local performance in Youngstown, Ohio, I can't remember what was it, 1989 or 1990. It was phenomenal. And those were actors and actresses who could sing. Mm-hmm. The acting was impeccable. And when I look at the movie The Dreamgirls, I was waiting to see it. I was like, It was just like Eddie Murphy was amazing. Amazing in there. And the singing for the people that were there, the people that you thought was going to be, it didn't give me what I needed in Dreamgirls. Go ahead, what you got?
Jennifer Hudson, to me, she did much better than Beyonce. I'm sorry, she did.
I would agree. I would agree, but at that particular production, she was supposed to, right? Because she was the singer, so she was supposed to. You know what I mean? So I got that part of it, but I got to say, our local people killed it. And it's like...
And that's usually what happens. Like, sometimes the local plays do much better than the big Broadway. I mean, even with big names. Well, because a lot of times, the people that they cast are, like you said, are not really actors. They're just casting them because they're big.
Their names. So they're looking at the ticket sales. So that's where I was going with that. It's like, okay, let's get this person over here because we know that everybody's going to come and see this person. Who's hot right now? Let's throw them in a role. So that's why I really want to go to see, because she's hot right now, the Haley. She's hot right now coming up, and it's going to be some controversy in some of her You've seen some of her performances. Wasn't that her? Was that Haley or was that Chloe?
No, Chloe is a performer.
There you go. Okay, so that's a sister or something. Okay. Yeah. Good. Yeah, don't mix that up like I did, because y'all would have been like, oh, it'd have been haywire, But you have those people that are hot, and it's like, okay, this is what we're going to do. And I want to see the talent. But go ahead. What you got, Amber?
That reminds me of the most recent remake of Cats and the reviews surrounding it.
Okay.
And like you said, They were pulling big names for ticket sales, and yeah, they have talent in their own right, but it's because they have that fan base. So like, no, they have a loyal fan base, and this particular celebrity's fan base is going to come and support them and buy tickets, and that's all these people, these big entities care about.
Agreed. We all agree on that. Just making money.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, let's talk about
I'm going to support. Yeah.
We're gonna make some money. Oh look, and all the dreadheads out there will be there. They will be there to support, okay? But she does have a beautiful voice. I'll give her that, and it is a musical, so yeah. But I did see Little Mermaid. Moving on, I want to talk about this letter that a parent wrote to a teacher, and it's all over the internet, so y'all can check that out. But Amber, would you read the letter that the parent wrote?
Okay.
Poor parents. Okay, poor parents.
I mean,
look, because it's always them. It's always somebody doing them wrong.
Okay. So the letter states, Miss Smith, my daughter comes home complaining about you almost every single day. Make it stop! 2 exclamation points. I don't have time for parent conferences that aren't necessary. I write talk shows. We come from a talking family. My baby is going to talk. I talk a lot. I don't know what you have going on, but please stop doing whatever it is that you're doing to make Ella complain about you in a negative way. I expect her to come home today with a pleasant, word scratched out, experience from you today. Smiley face. Contact information listed to chat. P.S. If you're going to call me, please make sure it's not to complain about her talking because I won't understand. Smiley face. Make sure she's actually being disobedient when you punish her for anything, including keeping her from PE. I expect a wonderful school year. Okay. Smiley face.
All right. That's the letter. Go ahead, Nick. What you got?
Dear parent, and I hope you're watching, you're listening, or get to. Sometimes you need to learn when to shut up, and this is that time, and your daughter do too. She is being disobedient if she's talking in class and the teacher is trying to do something. That is being disobedient. She is mimicking and mirroring what is being taught. Baby, you write talk shows, okay, that's your job. That's not your daughter's job. Your daughter's job is to sit there quietly and learn and only speak when spoken to. Period, point blank. That's all children. Speak when spoken to. When they're asked a question, then you answer. Listen, child, please. I need you to just practice shutting up.
Okay, that was to the mama.
Just practice shutting up.
What you got, Amber?
I think that's a great example of what teachers go through. Because how, as a parent, I feel like there's, maybe it's like a little tinge of narcissism. She seems relatively intelligent. Because if it's not narcissism, then it's a question of intellect and comprehension. If you don't understand that as a student, there are periods, lots of times when you are operating as a student that you are not supposed to speak. And that's not just when the teacher is giving instruction. It's also when other students are speaking, or when you're supposed to be, doing the assignment quietly so that so other students can focus on the task at hand. You're supposed to be quiet probably most of the time when you're in a classroom setting. So for a parent not to understand that, my first thought is, is there an intellectual disability going on right now? No, she's pretty, she can write full sentences and uses periods and punctuation. She's just kind of narcissistic, because that's crazy.
And her child is growing up to be just like her. The thing is, it's just, it's wrong on any, and that's the type of parent that will, because I know somebody like that will reward their child for being bad. Get in trouble in school, you go and cuss the teacher out, and then you reward your child by buying them new clothes or something. That's how my cousin grew up, and She had a hard lesson.
Yeah, there she goes. She telling the people's business.
in her early adulthood because of that. She had to learn the hard way.
Yeah.
She finally learned, especially now that she has her own child. She finally learned. But it was just like my aunt, she would always go cuss the teachers out and then reward my cousin. Why? And my whole entire family would be telling her, like, what are you doing? She was cutting up. You don't take her shopping. And that's why she learned.
Okay. All right, that's Nick the Voice, so y'all find her. Go find her.
Maybe
don't listen. Don't look at me. It don't matter because how the people be after people. They don't care who it is. You already know. But at least you didn't say the name. So good. Bravo. Hey, if you want in on this conversation, feel free to do so. The phone number here is 619-902-2287. 619-902-2287. We're getting ready to dive into our topic right after my comment regarding this letter. I agree with you 110%. That's why the teachers have the issues that they have. Because that letter is defending the daughter's talking. She's acting like it's genetic. It's like she inherited this trait. The talking trait. I write talk shows. I do. Okay, have your daughter write down whatever she want to talk about. How about that? Okay. That's why I changed my major. Went from early education. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. Because of parents, I already know. Look, I already know. And it's like, you're trying to teach and she's disrupting the class. Had the parent did what they did to us, set you outside the classroom. I mean, had the teacher did what they did to us and had it set us outside the classroom, that would have been an issue. You're isolating my child. You know what I mean? So
disrupting class.
But watch this. If you look at Old Sensitive America, we said this many years ago. Everyone has a problem. Nobody's happy. So which way do we go? We go all ways because we're trying to appease everybody. And it's like, that's an issue. You have to stand. You got to stand on something. Instead of just like, okay, this is what we're doing right now. Okay, we'll bring it back full circle. No, even when you don't believe, you may have a different religion. And you don't believe what somebody else believes, I'm going to leave it right there. You see, I was getting ready to go, but I'm just going to set it right there. Table it. You may have a different belief than someone else. And the problem is you having that different belief, it's okay for you, but not for them because they want you to believe exactly what they believe. And they want to ostracize you and say that you're wrong because you don't believe in their newness. It's not okay. And y'all can read between the lines. It's not okay. It's like you do you, let me do me, and we'll all be happy. Why is it that you have to be accepted or validated? And that's the thought that comes through my mind. You're waiting for my acceptance, but if I don't accept it, then I'm wrong. No, if this is truly who you are, be who you are. You don't need my validation or my acceptance. And that's what's seeming to be what's happening. It's like, okay, I know clearly you suffer from the self-esteem issues because you need all the validation. And then you want to call your people because, hey, they don't agree with me. So you going to call all your people. They're going to jump on the bandwagon and say, hey, you're wrong because you don't believe what we believe. Come on, man. We got to do better. Go ahead. So what do you think the solution is, Amber?
So I don't know what school system this is in or what type.
It doesn't matter because, it's all over.
But I think if it's if the teacher can be supported by curriculum and school leadership, it sounds like she's already been punished, but it's probably going to be escalated.
Or not. Because that letter says that, to me, that was a subtle threat.
Well, yeah, exactly. So, a lot of people don't know this, but parents and guardians, adults can be banned from school property. So that is an option, and then definitely getting the principal or whatever the title is, the principal involved in that situation to mediate, and then also develop a learning plan for this particular child. And also establishing what the parental expectations are, because a lot of people don't know that there are parental expectations for students. Like there's behavioral expectations for students. There's also behavioral expectations for the parents. No, just because you're an adult doesn't mean you can go into a K-12 school acting you can't bring a gun in, you can't smoke, you can't go threaten people, you can't go beat up teachers, you can't do a whole bunch of stuff. Like just because you're the parent, don't get it twisted. So if I was a teacher or if I was a principal, yeah, it would be an escalation.
Okay.
I'm petty.
You calling the talk shows? Since she write them, you gonna call the talk shows? Like let's just bring them on in. Let's just bring them on in.
Yeah.
But I looked at the comment and it says you never know what your child does out of your presence. True.
You're exactly right.
And here's the thing, and even observing, that was a great one. Observe your child during the school day. Well, the problem is she already stated she don't have time for unnecessary conferences. So, ma'am, this is an issue. So here you are saying, I'm not going to address this because I don't have time for unnecessary conferences. Clearly, it's necessary if your child was punished.
Right.
But I guess you're busy writing talk shows, so you don't have the time.
Oh, for sure.
She's the issue. She's the issue in whole.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it starts. The parent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Always. But it's never their fault. That's that whole customer is always right vibe.
Mentality.
Let me tell you something. A person worked in customer service for over 20 years. Y'all get that out your head. The customer is not always right. Period.
But do they teach you that in training? Do they teach you that in training?
Not anymore. Nope.
Okay.
The company sometimes agrees the customer isn't always right. No, they don't teach you that. The customer is not always right. Period.
How about some of them are pretty ignorant. But I want to get to that. Let's get to the next part. The little boy destroying the house. Go ahead, Amber. You got it.
So there's a TikTok video going around of a mother who was doing a tour of her apartment or home and documenting how it had been destroyed. And the caption was something along the lines of, I thought children were supposed to be a blessing. I can't believe he did this. And basically her teenage son, I believe was like 15, 12-year-old son,
12.
Literally destroyed their entire home, TV, busted a toilet. I saw that in the video.
Counter, the granite counter.
Yeah, destroyed appliances, put holes in the walls, punched through doors because she took away his smartphone, I believe, or a game console. It was some piece of electronic. And so there was a lot of static on social media. There's a lot of activity, a lot of conversation about it. But basically, my first thought is there is absolutely no way this was the first incident.
Mm-hmm.
To me, there's no way that this is the first time that particular child had an outburst, had a physical, violent outburst. It probably started when that child was maybe 3-4 years old, before they even entered kindergarten. And mother probably knew something was wrong and either chose to ignore it or has been attempting to get him help for the past 12 years, and she's just at her wit's end, which unfortunately it does happen to where people with, including children with mental health issues, are not, where a home environment is not appropriate for them and they need to be in a facility. Especially, and then also I wanted to mention that please, listening audience, take some time to look up the matricide, that's the right term, rate of children killing their parents, particularly for Black mothers. And so based on that video, I feel like that, and then, okay, this is the other thing that I feel like a lot of people didn't, I haven't heard a lot of people mention in that video. Did you see the Papa sign, the baby swing? In the video, there was a little, the little Papa sign baby swing in there, and there was some other, infant paraphernalia. So there either is an infant in that home or an infant frequents that home. So I'm like, why? First of all, I hope she called the police, but it's like, why are you allowing this danger in your home? And you don't think he did all that? You don't think he's not going to hurt that baby?
Listen, girl.
But I saw baby stuff in the video. I'm like, you are irresponsible. It's really giving irresponsible parent, because I be damned if I have multiple children and one of my children is going to put another one of my children or a child I'm responsible for in danger, and I don't do nothing. He going to have to get up out of there.
That is indicative to me of her trying to be her, for one, starting out trying to be, and that's with a lot of these young parents, because they're so young, they are trying to be friends with their children instead of actually being their parent, number one. Number two, I'm not condoning abuse, but trust me, I'd have beat the dog shit, excuse me, ding, 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 and I'll have a bail here, out of that book. And this is part of the issue. Okay, you have those who, and I don't believe in abusing anyone. Let me put that out there. I do not believe in abusing anyone. But I got my ass beat when I was growing up. And it did not affect me in any type of way. It helped me actually grow up and understand some things. That is the issue. We have the justice system jumping in, telling people that they can't whoop their kids, and then turn around and try to arrest the parent because the child is doing stuff before, or going to jail and always in front of the judge for something because you're not allowing that parent to be a parent. And it's like, it's getting, the issue is getting out of hand. And then again, you may have, like you said, mental issues. Yeah, that boy needs to be in a group home and let them handle that because they're equipped to handle that. I used to work with mental adult health, and mental health with the adults in homes, with the adults as well as the children. The adults and the children knew I did not play. There was one adult that was always destroying and jumping on the other MR residents, and they would always threaten and tell him, oh, we're going to call Nicole. You want me to get on, Andy? Well, get on the phone and call me. No, don't call Nicole. No. To the point where he would always ask, who's working tonight? And if they said my name, he would go in his room and stay in his room. Because I did not play that. Because my job is to make sure everyone is safe.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to have you, the only able-bodied, jumping on these other MR patients because they cannot defend themselves. Because at that point, it's either me lose my job because I didn't protect them, or me lose my job because I tore your ass up. And guess what? I choose to tear your ass up. Ding, ding, ding. So if I'm going to lose my job, the other residents that can't defend themselves.
Yeah.
So that's why they called me when he started cutting up, because he was strong as an ox. And MR patients, they're people, they are very, very strong. Okay, guess what? We're gonna go toe to toe because I'm not about to let you abuse them because you're mad.
Right.
No.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. If he knew and they said they're gonna call Nicole, then they know what they're doing. And so let me be clear. Was this child diagnosed MR?
Well, I think there's definitely some mental health, sort of like a mental, I wouldn't, like Nicole was saying, I wouldn't have responded that way. Like, just because to me, what I saw in that video, it's hands down, there's a mental health. There's a mental
behavioral issue.
That he went, and then, like I said, I don't know if you heard it, Mel, or not, but in the video, there was infant paraphernalia in that home, and I saw a papa sign. So there's a baby that lives in that home, or there's a baby that frequents that home, and that child would be gone. And I told my son, my sister is the same way with her sons. Like, don't do nothing crazy, because you'll be up out of here. Gone. And that includes, like, if I found out, like, some of these mothers, you found out that your son is molested or someone, and they're out here protecting their son. I'm like, what? I'd be childless. You'd be gone. I disown you because I raised you better than that, and you know better. And then as far as young teenage boys trying their parent, that's not, like, that's where I agree with Nick. Like, these kids need to know that we can go toe to toe. And I promise you won't win. Okay? But that's a normal kid. That's a normal, the video, that is not a normal normal child.
No, that is clearly a big issue.
He has mental issues.
Okay. And let's piggyback on what you said. You can go toe to toe with yours, and I think that's what's happening with a lot of the children. They bucking up to their parents. They're like, let's go toe to toe. Guess what? I'm not going toe to toe. I'm not. I would just mace you. And it's the truth. It's the truth. I'm not fighting no little teenager. I'm not doing none of that. I'm going to mace you. Matter of fact, you want to call the police, please come. You probably want to come now because there's an issue here. And the way, and I'm not saying all parents, but the way that you have them coming up now where they want to be friends, and what I've noticed is that a lot of parents didn't like the way that their parented, so they want to become this friend or do it differently. And the problem is they got you tied up differently because they out here doing extra stuff to hear, guess what? Now you stuck trying to get them out of something. Also, when you were talking about, like, if you know your child is a molester or have touched someone and you want to protect them or you want to protect that family name, you're like, no, mine is out. Bye, see ya. That's what it needs to be. If you know your child is doing wrong, you need to be the one to say, no, we're not doing this. Because I'm going to tell you something for you young people that's listening out there. If you do something wrong, I'm telling. I was the teller anyway from my friends, and they all knew it. Don't do that around her. They were like, oh, no. Because I'm telling. Yes, I'm the talkative child in the letter. I'm telling. I'm talking. And guess what? You're going to tarnish the name anyway, because once you get caught and you in jail and you be looking like, what? You was doing all that. So you're trying to protect something that eventually blows up and out of proportion and ruins somebody else's life.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm with you on that. I'm like, no, we got to elaborate a little more on that, because you do have a lot of parents that will protect their child. Like, no, I'm protecting my child. I don't want them to go. So you want them to be R. Kelly, allegedly. I got to put that out there. Allegedly, to protect myself. You want to go to the comment? Who wants to read it? Go ahead.
So Daryl Jones of Facebook said, is the child coming home complaining about her teacher every day with negative comments about her teacher, or just every day and anything? Can the child be just seeking attention from her mom to get more involved in her life?
I love it.
And that may very well be as well.
Because she writing talk shows and she ain't going to no unnecessary conferences.
Right.
Great point.
The mom says she doesn't have time, so that may be the child's way of trying to get the mother involvement and get attention. So that could be also.
Well, epic fail on both parts, because she hit her with the okay.
Right.
So look, now you done upset the teachers. She got to teach all these other students with this letter, because let's be real, I'll be back, y'all. After I read it, I'll be right back. Listen, I'm like, here, write something creative. Write what you see. I'll be back. Breathe.
I won't call the mama at that point.
See now, but
because of this letter.
Okay, now watch this. You are paid to teach. You gonna leave and stop yourself from teaching all your other students to address a letter. See, that sounds like that parent. Remember that parent that came up there? Wait, no, let me finish it. Let me finish this. Wait, Nick. Wait, let me finish. I'm about to mute you because I got to finish this. Amber D, do you remember when that child had a temp of 103?
Oh.
And I called. And that lady said, do what you got to do. She was like, I'm not leaving work to come up there. Your child, who was in grade K, kindergarten?
K or 1.
Yeah. Has a temp of 103. You have to come and pick him up and take him to the hospital. She yelling, well, don't you know what to do? And blah, 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 blah. Do what you got to do. Do you really want me to do what I have to do? Because my next step is CPS.
Yeah, CPS.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like 103, this is major. I can't even treat your child. And you know what? I don't even want to treat your child, especially with you acting like that. You have my license tied up, okay?
Okay.
I said, come get your child. This conversation is over, because she was calling me all kind of names, right? I hang up the phone. Guess who came? She came up to the school, not to address her child who has a temp of 103. She came up there and she said, I said, oh, I'm glad you made it. She was like, I came to show my son what happens when you disrespect his mom. That's what she said to me. Guess what I said? You got the wrong one on the right day, baby. So, and after that, boom, there you go. They called the police, and that particular parent was banned from the school. But it's crazy because having that fight. See, karma is an uninvited guest. And it'll come back full circle. So now the police up there about to arrest you, girl. Bye. Go sit down. And now you really don't have your child. Look, you already gave him up when you said do what you're supposed to do. It's your job. Ma'am, it is not. But there's a lot of parents out there that believe that it is the teacher's job to raise their children, but you can't discipline them. Or you end up with a letter like that. You see what I'm saying? So what do you want people to do, even in the neighborhood? Nick said she gonna go leave, stop teaching all the other 18 children, and call the parent. And they are missing their education for another what? 20 minutes. Because we know you, Nick, because you're on the phone with her for an hour. Y'all gonna keep going back and forth.
Well, that's what you tell them. I need you to write something creative, be quiet, write something creative, I'll be right back. So therefore, you have them doing what they're doing. And while they're doing that, while you taking a moment to process the letter, I'm taking that moment to call the parent about the letter.
I would agree with Nick because we do try to encourage, direct communication between parent and teacher. So, and a lot of parents do. I mean, a lot of teachers do that. I mean, and then, like I said, but if I was a teacher
during class time,
yeah. I mean, like you said, they can just do an assignment.
Teach yourself, because I got to check your mama.
Right, or in the school day, but yeah. Because I feel like she wrote that letter to provoke. She wanted a response.
Okay, I want to hear Nick. Go ahead. She wanted to provoke, and you gave it to her, huh?
Sure enough.
She sent you an invitation, huh? And you obliged. I'll be there. I'll be right there. What time?
I come. I'm not one of them ones you gonna bully. I'm not that one.
Now you do have parents.
That's also a bully issue.
Yeah.
That is a bully issue.
So professionalism goes out the door?
Right there.
So does it become like, do you lose professionalism? Do you get down in the trenches with her?
If I'm going to be unprofessional, I'll tell you meet me after 3 o'clock.
Oh, goodness. What?
But while I'm on the clock, I'm going to remain as professional as possible. Now, that much time I got from my mother, because my mother knew how to cuss you out without saying the cuss word. But when she got done telling you what she had to tell you, she made you feel this big.
Nick, I think you would have FaceTimed that parent.
Probably.
Yeah. To let them see your face like, huh? What? Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Like I told that parent, I had a nice clear.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You got the wrong one on the right day. This is not what we're going to do, and that's how bullies start as well. Because that, like I said, it's several issues with that letter. The bullying issue for one. Number two, you're the type of parent that'll reward your child for bad behavior. And number three, it could just simply be that child trying to get, because that parent is so busy being talkative, that child is trying to get their parents' attention for some reason. So the teacher may not even be doing anything wrong. It's just that child knows that's the type of conversation to have with their parents to try to get their parent attention.
Well, obviously,
there's issues that could be going on with that letter.
It can be. It can be. She did say something about PE, so maybe she prevented her from gym.
Right. Yeah.
There may be a reason why.
So teachers are being psychologists. Do they still have counselors in school?
Yeah. I think so.
Now let me tell you about this social media. I got to put it out there. So sorry. I've seen some counselors or people that they talk to, but then I look at their social media and I understand why they're like, watch your social media. Like, if your counselor is in lingerie on social media, and we've seen this over and over, and that's who's counseling your child, how do you address that issue?
think that it's something. I mean, I would just bring it to the attention of that person's superiors. You know, as a client, customer, whatever, you have a right to communicate your concerns or reservations about whatever service you're being provided. It happens a lot to teachers where their social media activity gets them in trouble or maybe even terminated. And that's just not teachers. That's pretty much every profession.
Well, in that, but see, here's the thing. In that industry, well, I shouldn't say industry because I'm with the lingerie stuff, stuck on that. But in that field, so in a professional field where you deal with children, and then your social media shows that there's a lot of psychological issues, clearly, you know, from the outside looking in, and the parent sees that, and it's like, oh, wait a minute. And does that say, I don't know if you're able to assist my child because you seem to have some problems? Or does that say, this is your outside life after 4, and this is who I am after 4, but I am the professional I need to be during the day, 8 to 4. I don't even know what the hours are.
I mean,
is that one and the same or is it different? That's my question.
I think that is a weak argument to say that's my personal life, and because then the next step in that is you have to prove that you are an effective professional, and that's what it's like. Okay, bring up your data. What's your record? How are your other previous clients performing now? What's your education level? When was the last time you had professional development? Like, it just gets real messy. Like, ugh. And I think that's why overall, across all professions, you're like, just be really super careful about what you choose to post on social media because it can easily hurt your employment.
Yeah, yourself or somebody else saying, here they are, and this is where you work, and they don't like all the extra drama that comes along with it.
Yeah.
So you got to do what you got to do. I was just wondering if that was still a thing, because remember when social media first hit, it was like, hold on, and you had a whole lot of teachers doing extra stuff, and it was like, this is my personal life, you know?
Yeah.
And not there, but it does affect your work, your profession. So be careful, people.
That was in the media about a teacher, I want to say in New York or somewhere, who has a very hourglass shape. And then she was posting these pictures, and parents were saying that it was inappropriate. But she was teaching like kindergartners and first graders. And then also she was altered. She had some cosmetic work done on her body. And it was just another example. But the issue was, and her only shield of protection and defense was her clothing was actually, she was completely covered. It was just her silhouette. So.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. See, that's a little different. Like, you can't tell me what to do with my body. Now, that's extreme.
Yeah.
But she was all covered, but she was built.
Artificially. So.
It don't. How they know?
Point that out. Sorry.
How they know? Oh, I smell. Look at you sipping some haterade over there.
Where you separate that? I do know someone who has a social media and cut up on social media, but they are an educator. And they said to keep their students and the parents from looking them up on social media, they use a total different name. Boom, there you go.
Okay, so there's a solution. And don't put their face on there.
Oh, no, they have their face and everything they cut up, but they use a whole total different name. Because I asked, I was like, how come you, and they, because I'm a teacher, and, you know, because my students are always looking for me, what's your Facebook name? And I'm not going to tell them because.
And they use a different name. But sometimes,
that's
you know.
Not a good idea either, because people can research and find you, even if you're using aliases, especially online, because you can do the Google image search and do it by face. So I'm like, ooh, it's still risky to me.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. What about the one teacher who? What about the one teacher who has the OnlyFans page? I ain't gonna say too much. I ain't gonna say too much around here. But listen, and guess what though? I'm really not mad at her.
But you know what? You have to pay for a subscription to OnlyFans, so it's not like the kids can just find it. Someone's paying for it.
And she getting paid. You know what I mean? Like, Anyway, moving on. Let's talk about this karma. Let's talk about all these children acting up, these adults acting up. It's going to come back. What you put out will definitely come back. And here's the thing: when you think you think it might come back one way, it's going to come back another way. And burning bridges. What's your thoughts about burning bridges? Wait, let me let the listening audience know. If you don't know what burning bridges are, it's like you'll have a relationship with somebody. I'm not talking just romantic, okay? And you get so grimy and savage that you can never go back to that person if you may need them, or just to communicate, or if you don't even trust them, you're not able to go back. So that's what the old proverb of burning bridges means. Go ahead.
I think you should try to avoid burning bridges, but when I burn a bridge, I incinerate it and watch it burn. So try to avoid it, but if you're gonna do it, own it. Don't be like, I didn't know.
Sound effect.
I'm so sorry. Like, no, I'm gonna put a nuclear bomb on this bridge. Like, but yeah, try to avoid burning bridges. Try to avoid it.
Okay, go ahead, Nick. She took her glasses off, y'all. She took her glasses off for the listening audience. Nick, the voice.
You see his face, right?
I'm gonna sip this tea. I'm gonna sip this tea beforehand. Go ahead, Nick.
Some bridges are meant to be burnt. And I'm like her. I'll watch it. I'll light it up and I'll watch it. And I'll watch you at the other end of it. Let you know we are completely done. Been there, done that, and still going through some more of my portfolio to see what other bridges I need to burn completely.
Do you? Is it helpful? Is it working for you?
Yes. In some cases, yes, it is.
Okay, go ahead.
Bridges that have been burnt needed to be burnt because, I'm not gonna let you pull it. Listen, if I'm gonna go down the wrong path or be dragged down, let me drag my own self down for something that I did. I don't need to be involved in your drama. I got my own. I don't need to be involved in your mess. I got my own. So therefore, it's time that we sever all ties and we burn all bridges. Period, point blank. I don't mind burning a bridge that I know I'm never, ever, ever going to cross again because it's only going to be trouble if I do.
Okay. What you got, Amber D?
Yeah, I feel like to piggyback on what she is saying, as far as some bridges are meant to be burned, I think that a lot of times there's relationships that are supposed to come to an organic, natural close. Like sometimes, like, well, why did we stop talking? Well, why did the relationship end? Or why are we not cool no more? And I'm like, now my older self, I'm like, well, maybe it was just time to be over. It wasn't you, it wasn't them. It was just a natural dissipation of the relationship because everything's not meant to last forever. Versus, something being like problematic or burdensome or toxic in your life. And it's a test for you to know, do you have the discernment to know, hey, I need to burn that bridge. Hey, I need to distance myself. Are you prioritizing yourself and your own well-being?
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yes,
but is that really burning a bridge? You can sever ties without burning the bridge.
Nah, baby. So sometimes you got to burn some of those bridges.
Okay, let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this.
Avenue back to you.
Okay, wait. Let me ask you this. When you see the person, do you resent them after you burn the bridge? Do you still resent them? Do you still give them that, the eye, like, yeah, we split up, it's over, done? Do you have that energy?
No, I look at them, I look through them like I don't even know, like they're a stranger to me, period, point blank. At that point, whether it's an old relationship, as far as romantic relationship, old friendship or whatever, they're just a stranger to me. Like a person I just walk by or drive by and you don't know, you're just two bodies passing. At that point, that's what that person is. I don't care how close we were. I don't care what kind of romantic relationship we had. At that point, you are a stranger to me, and I look through you like I would look through someone I don't know. Okay,
let's speak literally. When you are in the presence of that individual, how much energy are you using? How much energy are you using to deliberately make sure that you don't use your peripheral?
Okay, let me give you this. Okay, there was an issue that I had.
Okay.
With the best.
Okay.
I am the mother.
You ain't got to go into detail. Just tell us the situation.
You need you to understand. Me and my godson were like this at one time. Mom.
Okay.
The issue that ensued between me and the parent kind of trickled down to my godson, even though he didn't want to be in the middle of it. Me and my godson were both in the same place. He was standing right next to me, like to the point where we were almost touching shoulders.
Okay. But look, right? But you know that you used energy. It was a negative energy.
I didn't use my 1 ounce of energy.
Okay. Wait. Okay, go ahead, Amber. What you got?
Well, okay. So the opposite of love is not hate; it's apathy, and I feel like Nick is talking about being apathetic. So when and especially if you're working on severing ties or disconnecting emotionally or getting over whatever trauma or hurt you experienced was inflicted on you from them, you have to actively practice apathy. So
and it was nothing that
becomes organic and you are genuinely apathetic towards that person.
Right. It was nothing that he did. It was the fact that he was caught in the middle between what was going on between me and his mom. But the fact that because that is his mother, he's gonna rock with his mother. I understand that.
So you didn't speak? You didn't speak to him?
We didn't speak to each other.
No. You didn't speak to him? So that would be a no? Okay.
No. Because I tried to talk to him before and like he had cut me off of social media. The one time hey godson, how you doing? What's up? And kept right on going. So at that point I knew what it was. I'm not gonna put up that was me putting out unnecessary energy trying to, and I saw it wasn't being reciprocated, so I just left it alone. I left it alone.
Okay. And I like that you said unnecessary energy. I'm glad you said that. It seems as if you use more energy, not, trying to make sure that you didn't speak versus just saying hi. Because
I feel like that depends on, because some people are very chatty and say hi to everyone.
Okay.
And I'm not like that. I feel like, especially out in public, I really keep to myself. And so, but if there is, like I said, if someone's burning a bridge in their life, there's probably a really good reason why you're burning it. And it's going to be less energy for that period of time to intentionally be apathetic to that person.
Exactly.
To say hi or try to pretend like you're over it when you're not.
Exactly. So therefore, it was less energy for me to be standing next to him and he'd be like just another stranger or another young person in the same place. It didn't bother me. I mean, I hated that it was like that because I never wanted him to be in the middle of it, but he was to the point where when he was trying to talk to me, his mom would have something to say, and then, he was saying...
And see, that had to be a bad place for him. Go ahead, Amber. What you got?
I think also, as far as the apathetic angle of it, this is also kind of ties into me to like gray rocking a narcissist. And so, okay, yeah, your internal emotions.
Explain gray rocking for the listening audience.
So someone who's interacted with a narcissist or experienced narcissistic abuse, a way to deal with a narcissist, like particularly in your family, in your immediate family structure, is called gray rocking. And basically where you give the narcissist individual no energy, no emotion. Now, and that doesn't mean you don't have energy. It doesn't mean you don't have emotions. It's you are not displaying it to that person. Because that person is doing things to antagonize you, to provoke you. They want you to have a reaction. So when you gray rock someone, is where you just say, okay, fine, whatever, sure. And you don't give the reaction that they're trying to provoke out of you. So that's what gray rocking is. And I feel like that kind of ties into the bridge burning. Mm-hmm. And so it's not about your internal emotions. Like, I feel like if you practice something enough, eventually it will become organic and will come into you. So if you are practicing like gray rocking or being apathetic towards the individual because you chose to end the relationship and burn that bridge, eventually it will become organic, and it's less about how you feel internally, because you know how you feel. You know when you finally get to the place where you are truly, genuinely over something, over a hurt, over a disappointment, whatever, versus doing what's necessary to protect yourself, like gray rocking.
Now, get this, though. This is a twist, and this is part of burning bridges. She has since passed away. She ended up with cancer. My godson and I, we do talk a little bit more now, whenever we would see each other. And the one day we were talking, and, he explained, well, because I felt like I was put in a hard position, blah, 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 this and that.
That's understandable.
I don't understand, that's your mother, so you're going to rock with your mom. And he's like, no, because I didn't agree with her decision. Well, anyway, they, on her deathbed, they were talking, and he asked why we stopped speaking, or why she did what she did, or something like that. It got to why she did what she did. And she told him, I don't understand what happened between us, because we were like this. And she was like, I don't understand what happened, why we stopped talking, this, and that. And one thing that was brought up to her is, well, why would you start a relationship with her husband? That's the second. And the husband number 2. You started a relationship with him.
Okay, listen, that's we about to be. We only got 15 minutes.
That's saying. So that is, but
I understand that one. Look, I understand that now.
Right, and like I was saying, sometimes it's
burning a bridge.
You are
Look,
exactly burning.
I can see clearly now. There, honey.
Right.
So that's why it was easy for me to stand there with no emotion on my face. Yes, that hurt me to my heart because we were like this, but burning a bridge.
What? She burned it though. She burned it.
She burned that bridge, but it hurt me to my heart because I couldn't be there for my best friend in her time of need, in her final hour.
You could have.
I rocked and rolled with her until she took her last breath. But because she did what she did and she burned that bridge, she died telling her son that she don't know what happened between us. You know, he knows, I know, and my ex-husband knows.
Okay.
You did.
Okay. All right.
You burned.
All right. That's major. It really is. And that's why I like both of you ladies, because it's another side. It's like, okay, boom, I was about to use an example, a medical example, don't worry about it. I was like, we cut the brain in fours, you know what I mean? But
I'm just
no, you are definitely giving it to us straight.
Like that every single day.
But here's the thing though, but watch this out. But you didn't burn that bridge. She did. Now here's the thing though. And so I get it. No, that's not going to happen again. But you have an attachment on that bridge. It didn't get incinerated and burned because you have that godchild. Now here's the thing. I feel I have empathy for the child, the godson. And the reasons, because yes, I'm in a bad place, especially if you see, like, I know this is her husband, this is my godmom's. If you see it and it's like, okay, what do? I don't want to be a part of it. So my next question with that scenario is, do you sever all ties connected to that individual? And it sounds like you was like, bye for all y'all. F all y'all. Nick was just like, I'm out.
Mama, daughter, everybody.
Dog, everybody. Just done.
Me and my godson, like I said, we speak a little bit, and now there's another part of that bridge because there's a child involved with a close relative, so therefore I can't completely sever that bridge.
Very good. Very good. There's growth.
Now there's a child with a close relative of mine, so no,
so
I can't completely burn that bridge, and I cannot fault him because, like I said, that is his mother. But it hurt me because we were so close, and it hurt him because like I said, I was his mom. Mm-hmm. I was his mom. I was his mom. Mom this, mom that, and that was like, so yeah, that did hurt me to have to do that, and I kind of understood why, because he was in a position he didn't want to be in, and but see here,
But here's the thing though, honestly, he was in there by default. He didn't choose it.
Right.
So that's why I'm like, right. But go ahead, Amber, what you got?
No, so I want to disagree when you said that she burned the bridge by her actions. No, because she really didn't. Because based on, I don't know this person. This first time I'm hearing this story. But based on what you were saying, Nick, I felt like if you had chosen to forgive her and remain a friend with her, she would have still chose to be your friend. So, and a lot of people who are in like toxic, negative, narcissistic relationships, the narcissist isn't gonna end the relationship. Not if you're still a supply. You know, they're actively hurting you, and they're still gonna want to call you, text you, ask you for favors, all this stuff. They're not gonna burn the bridge themselves, even though you're being mistreated or whatever. So I do feel like Nick chose to burn that bridge because some people they think they operate like that. They'll hurt you. They will do something that's worthy of ending the relationship, and they'll still be around if you let them. So you have to end it. You have to cut them off.
Okay.
Yeah. Sound like she was a trip.
So listen, but you know what? And I heard the end of the story where she was sick and the whole nine and passing. I'm just, maybe it's just me. Like especially if you are a good friend, and I've had that happen, and I was upset, and it's like, okay, but I know I'm not going to repeat that. But here's the thing. I'm not going to burn that bridge because I feel like you did it for me. Like, I'm out. Done. And I have boundaries, and boundaries are set. I'm not saying for your godson's mother, by no means saying karma is a B or anything like that. I'm not saying that. So
I am not even going to lie. I said it.
Sips tea for the listening audience. Okay. What was I talking about?
I'll take the karma sip for you.
Oh yeah, go ahead, take my. Oh God.
I said it, and I still do.
Okay, so yeah, karma, they come on it. Uninvited. Listen, wait a minute, the uninvited guest. All right, let's talk about this. Okay, karma, the uninvited guest. Oh my gosh. What? People are like that though. People are like that. Like karma's a B. Boom. You got to watch what you do to people because that same energy will come back to you. But here's the thing: the people that have wronged me that I've seen, the comments is going off. Yeah, the comments is going off. Flames and everything. Like boom, they throwing it up. Okay. But the people that have done things to me here, I am the person. Call me what you want. I am that person. Where that clip of Martin Lawrence when Dragonfly Jones came and talking about it is a pleasure for you to meet me. I am that person. I am. It is a pleasure for you to meet me. Because once you do me wrong, you're not going to get the opportunity to do it again. And that's why, here's the thing. I'm not burning the bridges. I'm looking at what services me. What services me? Like, what do you have that can service me? And that's how I start looking at that. Like, okay, this is this, and you might be friends with somebody else. Am I going to totally cut you off? If it's life-threatening, okay, deuces. Do you know that person? Yeah, but I don't fool with them. If you sit down with me, one thing I have always been is 100% real, and y'all know it. And it might hurt somebody's feelings. Don't ask me, though. You ask me, I'm going to tell you. And if you are a friend to me and I consider you a friend and you sit down and you ask me about somebody, or if I feel compelled to tell you, if I know you're getting ready to make a business move and I've already experienced this individual, me, even though I ain't dealing with them, I'm not telling you not to deal with them, but I'm going to let you know that let me share my experience. And then you make your decision based off that. Am I going to burn my bridge with that person that did me wrong? No, because they may have a connection to something else, or someone else that I may have to be like, hey, do you know that person? Boom. And see, here's the thing. Usually people who burn bridges and you don't respond the way they want you to, or like you were saying, Amber, you don't respond the way they want you to, like gray rocking.
Right.
they can't say anything bad about you. And when they see you, trust and believe, it hurts them more. Kind of like like you said, sitting at the bar. It hurts them more to know that they burned that bridge. Because here again, it is a pleasure for you to meet me. Okay? I'm not gonna do wrong because I believe in karma. I do. I believe in karma. And it's gonna come back around. Is it gonna come back the way that you threw it out there? Probably not. It's going to be the person that you sit there and you be like, oh my God, I thought we was tight. Like they did that. So I understand your hurt. I do. I empathize with you because that's a bit much. And that happened. It did. It happened. Or even, like with family members, this is not just friends, like family members, sometimes, am I going to burn the bridge? I'm not going to burn the bridge because you know what? That person's going to need you. And and not in the same capacity. Let me say that. Or a friend. It might not be the same capacity. It'd be like, okay, but if I seen somebody who was hungry, it is just me, just my personality. If I seen my worst enemy hungry, I will feed them.
You're a saint, because I wouldn't.
Here's
I'd be like,
a little child with you, then I'll make sure that little child eats. But as far as you,
see. I just can't. But you know what? There's somebody in the comments and she gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. Somebody we grew up with. Like if you fooling around with drugs, you trying to rob me. Okay, let me tell you what happened. I'm just gonna put it out there. You want to sell me a TV. I don't need a TV. But you got this big box, like the big brain TVs. Remember those? Like get out of here. Or you got the little box with the flat screen. You put the TV in there and you want me you want me to buy a TV from you, and then when I open it up, there's some bricks in there. Quit playing. So you play me.
Oh yeah, people used to do that.
But me, y'all know me. I was like, what? I was like, I don't need no TV, and who carrying that? That's my whole thing. But the attempt. So for you to do that with me, did I burn the bridge? I didn't burn the bridge because I know who I was dealing with. So it was like, okay, and I see you. And then he just recently inboxed me and told me that one of our childhood friends passed away and he was collecting money for him, and they gonna take it to his mom or somebody, right? Girl, God, listen, wait. He up here is still alive. The dude had no idea. So like I'm saying, you got to know who you dealing with. And some people feel like, Mel, why do you even deal with this cat? Listen, it's pure entertainment to me. It's entertainment to me, though. Like, you up here, you got... Listen, look, I'm not lying. You see her comment. Listen, I had to reach out like, wait, there's something I ain't even see it. I don't even read the newspaper like that to see who in the obituaries. Do they even still put obituaries in the newspaper? Or is it just, what I'm saying?
If showing up put them on WKBN, you better check it.
Okay, but you got, see, she shouting out WKBN, okay? But listen, I shout out, since we're going to do that, I'll let you have that one. I shout out WFMJ. I like all of them. The whole cast of WFMJ. Okay, those are my people. But the, phone number here is 619-902-2287. 619-902. Let me find. I got all this stuff going on. Nick got me thrown. I ain't lying because she off the chain. Y'all already know. She burning, she severing it, she doing everything. It's like, wait a minute.
In my little story, the person that just asked for the phone number knows my story.
Oh, okay. And that's cool. But I just feel like you don't want to burn bridges because let me say something. Even though like that situation, and y'all probably thinking like, oh, he must be on drugs or something like that. That ain't my problem. That's his situation. I don't even want to know. You know what I mean? Go ahead, caller. You're live on Shop Talk.
Hello, this is Cecily, and I'm calling from Columbus, Ohio.
Hey, Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, my goodness. Y'all are off the chain today. But I had to come and chime in on this one because I literally just had this situation recently where a so-called friend had went back and told somebody something that I don't get along. I'm not even friends with them, let alone on Facebook. Something personal about me. and slipped up and said something to me about them talking. And I said, excuse me? And I said, no, there's no well. You call yourself really close to me, but you going to tell somebody else something that I don't even get along with? Something about me? And we've been friends for how many years? Since when did we do that? So when you burn a bridge, you can't expect for that person to cross back over that bridge with you without a whole lot of catching up and making sure that you make this right this time. Because otherwise, I'm not going to go backwards with you and start over like nothing happened. No, that don't happen no more. It's when you grow up and you have an understanding that you can't be saying that you're friends with somebody and then burn a bridge with them. Because that humble individual is going to stay humble and leave you right where you at.
Okay.
You can't do that. You can't do that to so-called friends. You just can't do it. That bridge is burned and I will never return.
What if they build a new bridge? It might take some years.
And you know what? The funny thing about that is.
Wait a minute. Let me finish this call. Let me get her off the line. Thank you so much for calling. We appreciate you. We love you here at Shop Talk.
Absolutely. Ladies, have a good day.
You too.
You too. That's that small town mentality as well.
But you know what? It's not even small town. No, it's not. Because California, come on, it's huge. Come on now. The thing is, when you know somebody, when you know somebody, and I can understand that because that would have been nutty, and that has happened too. When you sit there, you have a conversation, and then the people sit there, they forget who they talking to, and then they tell you what they said about you to somebody else, or they mention something else, and it's like, why are you guys even having that conversation? I'm confused. But you know where they come from. So I understand that part of it too. Like they didn't burn the bridge with you, so you're done. You know what I'm saying? Some people can build it. We have a comment, and let's see, Amber, you want to read it?
So Annette Y. Edward Williams of Facebook said, I went to a person who, quote unquote, posted something that caused confusion. She refused to accept her responsibility. Blocked me. Fine. Screenshot what I needed. Take it to the next level because two are major people in community, quote unquote, inappropriate comments. Burnt bridge.
Okay. So, you can reply in the comments. I've read it and I'm glad you read it out loud again because you already know I believe in repeat, recite. See what's going on. It sounds like it was a post. So this is on Facebook, a post. I'm assuming, sorry, Miss Annette. So they went to a post. The person who posted it refused to take responsibility and blocked the person. She screenshot. Okay. Yes. Okay. Thank you so much for clearing that up. And two people in the community had an inappropriate comment. I love this. Let's dig into this real quick. Inappropriate comments. So let's say, for instance, I post something on Facebook. It's on my page. If you know me, you know me. You know what I mean? And some people may like and some people may not like. Now, it sounds like the people that commented, somebody said something inappropriate. If somebody says something inappropriate on my post, that's not on me. Help, Amber, what's your thoughts? Go ahead.
If it's your post and you post something and someone posts like a reply to your post and it's inappropriate, because you're the originator, you do have the power to delete that message.
But what if it wasn't offensive to me though?
Then you have the option to do it, but that's just your basic censorship rights. Since you're the originator of the post and people are replying to the post, you can just delete it if you want to. But if you don't see, as the originator, if you don't see a problem with whatever they posted, then you don't have to delete it.
Go ahead. I want you to answer that question, Nick. What's your thoughts? So if you make a post and someone comments, is that your responsibility? Is that your responsibility what other people post in the comments?
No, because if I don't like what their comment is, I delete it.
If you don't like it, so you would have to be the one that's offended. That's
if it's on my post, right? Okay. If it's on my post, and I don't think it's appropriate. I have, and I believe comments.
Okay, but listen to the question. Your post, it's not offensive to you. So it sounds like she's a reader and it's offensive to her. That's what I'm saying. Do you take responsibility for her feeling that way? It brings us
by deleting that comment.
So wait.
I find it offensive, but someone else.
So if I sit there and be like, I don't like that comment that was on your post, you're supposed to delete it because I don't like the comment?
No. If I
I intend to have it. Y'all discuss that.
Okay, and that's what I would think. Maybe like a reach out, and I'm just opening this up just for dialogue. You know, I would think a reach out to the person who had the inappropriate comments. I think that would be more, reasonable. I don't like what you said on this comment, but here we go back to what I was talking about. If you find something offensive and I don't, why do I have to be the one? You know what I'm saying? Why do?
Yeah, no. Because
now,
stuff all the time.
Wait, we gotta speak one at a time. Okay, go ahead, Nick.
However, if you know that person's comment is a blatant lie, then yes, it is your responsibility. Delete it because you know that's a lie.
If you know, let's say. Okay, let's say for instance, because I don't know what's going on, and we going off of that situation, and that. So thank you. Let's just say it's just random. Like I like blue, and this person don't like red, and this is very, very minute. I don't know the situation, but if somebody say, well, if I put on there I don't like red, and then they be like, well, why not? We like red, and then you want me to take responsibility because of something how I feel. Because usually a post, let's be real here, a post is what's on your mind. Because it say what's on your mind. So
right.
I'm expressing what's on my mind. I have no control over what other people say. Now, and hear me clear, Annette, like I said, I don't know the situation. Now, if it's offensive to me, but anybody that, y'all know me, if it's derogatory, honestly, if it's derogatory toward me, or if I think that it's just like way out there, I will delete it. But that's me. That is me. And I'm looking like, oh no, we're not doing the attacks, because I don't allow that either on mine. No, we're not doing this. We have a good time. We laugh. I have people that have an issue with, some of my little jokes that I be posting, which is, it's all fun and games. But if you are that sensitive, I'm not the person to follow. Go ahead, Amber, what you got?
Great. I think this is a great example of, like, even when an establishment, what they will allow, and what they allow is representative of their values as a company. So, let's say, I don't want to say no big names, but let's say a big name, a big company.
Okay.
And there's some stuff pops off. Now, they didn't facilitate it. They didn't, support them. It just happened on their premises. And so if that company chooses not to speak or take a stance on the incident that transpired on their property, the public perception of that company is going to be tarnished. And that's why you have these companies that are like, oh, we don't support that, and this happened at our location, but we're not for that, and whatever. Or that company, they can sit here and protect themselves legally and say, hey, we're just renting out the space. We take no responsibility for what they did. But the fact that you allowed it is going to say, okay, yeah, but y'all low-key agree with them. Because if you were against it, you wouldn't have allowed them into your space.
Oh, okay. Now, let's say, and I understand that, but this is like the personal thing. I want to read this. I'm going to read this. So Annette says service dogs, guide dogs, and animals in stores. I get that things are out of control, but if you see a dog in a restaurant, he's a service dog. Boom, I got to talk to this. I got to speak to this because y'all remember I was talking about it.
Yes.
I was talking about it. Annette, woo, listen. Okay, so I was going to a restaurant. I'll say a restaurant, Red Lobster. I saw a dog in the restaurant. Did I complain about it? No. What I did is I left. One, and my personal thoughts, am I an animal lover? Not really, but I got a cat. I like cats, so I guess so. Here's the thing. When I walked in, I'm allergic. I'm allergic. So it's like, okay, this has to be over there, I'm allergic. So here I am. Remember I told you I was at TJ Maxx not long ago. And I kept sneezing and I couldn't stop sneezing. Well, it was a dog in there. And I'm not saying that people shouldn't have service dogs. So let's be clear with that. Okay. And I get it. I get the fact, people need their pets and their animals. Here's the thing though. And this is me. You come in there and they had this pet and it probably was a service pet. The problem was it affected me. It affected me. So guess what? It affects me. I have a problem. If it didn't, I probably wouldn't care. But I don't eat around pets. I got a problem with that as well. And I think even with the, like at the Red Lobster, some of that dog dinner, because it was a long-haired dog, huge, and I'm scared of dogs. You know what I mean? So I'm uncomfortable now. And here this pet is here. And it's like, I can't watch that. So what did I do? I can't eat. I'm just not interested. So I left, so my monies went somewhere else. TJ Maxx, I was sneezing. I couldn't stop sneezing. And finally, I was like, is there a dog in here? And then, boom, it was a dog there. But it affected me so much that guess what? My $200 worth of stuff that I was buying, I don't even need it because I can't stop sneezing. So I left. So here the company loses money. And I understand that people have issues. I do. I went to Dillard's. And it was a bad black dress. I loved it. And Dillard's have those cloth buggies. Pulled this black dress out. But I was sneezing and I didn't know why I was sneezing. And I'm looking around, nothing. Got to the counter. When I got to the counter, pulled the black dress up, all kind of fur, all on the back, the black dress. Well, that's because somebody had their dog in there and I couldn't figure it out. Guess what? Did I buy it? I didn't. They wanted to give it to me for $5. I don't want it. I'm done. So yes, things are out of control. So I agree with you. But the thing is, service dogs, and you have it. And then you have people who, I remember somebody did make a statement. I think this was like on one of the news channels, and I'm not going to say it, where they felt like, well, this is my service animal. And we got animal lovers on the panel too. They got dogs. Okay. And I need this dog to go with me. My solution, honestly, you have a lot of people who can't have pets because of medical issues. So I understand, them being, some of you guys are disabled and this is what you need. Blind, guess what? I see it. And if I see a dog, and I have seen that, a dog with a blind person, does that say, oh, blind people don't need to go to restaurants? No, that does not say that. It doesn't say that. It's like, okay, you want to go out and you want to enjoy, here you go. But the problem that these company owners are going to start having, because I see it, because they don't want to seem, we don't want to seem like scumbags, insensitive scumbags, to be like, no, they got these dogs and blah, 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 blah. They're going to start losing money. Because people like me, this is what you allow. I'm not mad at you. Go ahead. But one of the comments on one of the news outlets said, why don't they do like the senior citizens, like, what is that, Sam's Club, to have like senior citizen hour early in the morning to go shop, so that they don't have to deal with the hustle and bustle. Even if you want to take your dog out, for the people who just want to just think it's cute, like the Paris Hilton thing, and just be like, oh, okay, I just want my dog in my purse. You know what I mean? Go to PetSmart, do your thing. But companies are going to be losing a lot of money because here again, the majority is being looked at as scumbags because they want to go shop and go do what they have to do. Don't have an issue. And I'm using air quotes for my listening audience. Don't have an issue, but now I have to accommodate somebody who does have an issue. You know what I mean? So it's like, and one person commented on there and they said, well, I what did they say? They was like, well, if you got an issue, don't go. Well, that's just like, it used to say no pets allowed. Remember how I used to say that type of stuff? No pets allowed, no blah, blah, blah. Okay, now pets are having more rights than people. So it's like, or eat out. That's what they said. Well, order DoorDash. So I got to order DoorDash because I'm allergic to dogs. And these people want to bring their pets into the restaurant. You go ahead. Go. What you got, Amber? Go ahead.
They're saying that the people that need a service dog need to order in. That's not fair either.
Right.
It's not either way. Go ahead.
it comes down to like losing money, and I do feel like another example of this is I think it was like Home Depot versus Lowe's, and one of them, like the CEO was like we're Christian or something on. He made like a religious point, and it was very divisive. So then some people were like, well, I'm only going to shop at the one place because I agree with the CEO said. And some people were like, oh, I think maybe it was Lowe's. They were aligned with themselves with like the LGBTQIA plus community. Okay. And then the other competitor was like, no. Right. And so, and it could, so it's, as a business, something that it could work for you and it could build your customer base, or it could work against you. And I think it just goes back to your personal beliefs as a business owner or as the original poster. Like, do you agree with it? Do you not agree with it? Because, you know, as we were talking about in the previous discussion earlier in the show, as Nick said, damned if you do, damned if you don't. So you might as well just go with what your true beliefs are. But yeah, it still comes back to that, to the original poster. If you found the comment under your post offensive, then delete it. But if you didn't, leave it. And if someone else found it offensive, then it's just...
They should probably just don't go on there, or reach out to the person that made the comment, or don't even follow that person. Don't vote for, she said, a community person. I believe it's the comments, you know, they're going quick, so I missed it. But if you don't believe it, be like, okay, well, you don't have my vote because I know how you feel. You know what I'm saying? But it's so different because we're at a place where if you don't agree, like I was saying earlier in the show, if you don't agree with what I agree with, you're out, and that's a problem. We ought to be able to believe how we believe. We ought to be able to like what we like and dislike what we dislike, and still be okay with that. This part right here, one of the persons was just rude, saying dogs brings virus into the store. Well, let me say that, and you said that's a false statement. I disagree with you on that when you say it's a false statement, but let's be clear. Everybody bring viruses into the store. It's not dogs. I'm like, let me be clear on this statement. Everybody, every person that walk in there could be bringing a virus. So it's not just like all dogs just bring back. Nah, your dog probably don't even have a virus. Still, and yet germs come. Every single person bring germs into the store. So just know that. Now, if you have an allergy to dander or whatever you got an allergy to, that's different. You'd be like, oh, okay, well, yeah. Do they shed? Yeah. What are you allergic? I'm allergic to the dogs, you know, the fur and all that other stuff. Okay. Are you allergic to her? No, I'm okay with her hair shedding, but it sheds. You understand what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying. Like, you got to be fair, but it's, you know, as far as somebody posting something, like if I post something, yes, I'm responsible for posting it, but me personally, I'm not going to remove it because somebody is offended by what somebody said. Not what I said, but what somebody said in the comments. And truth be told, y'all already know me. If I said it and you offended by it, just unfollow me. Because I'm not. Because if I posted it, this is what I believe. And I should have the right to believe what I want to believe. Or I should have the right to post what I want to post. Everybody's offended across the board anyway. Because the stuff I be posting, people be offended with. They be reporting me, Facebook jail. I be getting warnings and stuff. I was in Facebook jail. I'm like, oh my gosh. You know what I'm saying? But at some point, we have to allow people to be who they are. I'm a firm believer. Y'all know my platform. I'm a firm believer. It's okay to be you. But here's the deal. It can't just be okay to be you and not allow other people to be them. What you got, Nick?
No, I was just agreeing with that wholeheartedly. Like, you can't expect, like, if you want somebody to respect you in your opinion, you have to reciprocate and you have to respect them and their opinion. Doesn't mean you have to agree. I mean, and it's okay to disagree. Just be respectful about it.
That's it.
If you want somebody to respect you, then you have to do the same.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be one-sided about the situation.
Hey,
I'm working on myself as well.
Good, because karma comes back. Karma comes back. And even the little things, and you look at it, it's like, oh, okay, don't worry about that fight. Don't even waste your energy in that fight because karma will come back. And if it's somebody in a political office, you know what I mean, or something like that, guess what? Don't vote for them. It's going to come back. And you know them people, they grimy. The politics is grimy. They going to find it. And be like, oh, this person don't like this and that. You know what I'm saying? Don't give them your energy. Save it for a day you really need it. Like if you sick in the hospital, be like, oh, I could have used that energy that I wasted on that Facebook post. God dog it. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm at. Just allow people, you know, you have your views. They have their views. Just allow them to be who they are and just know, guess what? They don't have your vote. And it's okay. It's totally okay. You got anything, Amber D? Oh, we're talking about the Purge. The Purge, Chicago, Illinois. The Purge, air quotes. Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Okay, I just feel like this is laced with so much race politics, personally. That's my personal opinion.
We got 5 minutes. Go ahead.
And it's just apologists making excuses for criminals. And it says, unfortunately, who's going to be the most in danger? Who is going to be the most vulnerable? Who's going to be most, I feel like it's going to be black women and black children. Like, this is just, it's ridiculous. And it's the people that's going to hurt the worst are the people that have no protection, not the people that are living in gated communities. So you got these quote-unquote activists like, oh, you know, abolish the police and police reform and all the, you know, the school to prison pipeline and all this mess. It's mess. And this is the end result of it when you make excuses and don't hold people accountable for their own actions that they choose to make as adults. And we're sitting here protecting grown people so they can go and practice recidivism. So they can go and be a criminal again.
Right. And then if a person that is defending themselves takes action and that person ends up losing, the criminal ends up losing their life, guess who they're going to run after? The person that was defending themselves.
Yep.
How about that? Who's going to jail when they let everybody out?
Because you allowed criminals to have a day. Purge.
Air quotes, listening audience.
In that situation.
Okay, watch this. If you could commit a crime and be allowed to get away with it, what crime would you commit?
Be white collar. Stealing money. Espionage.
Right. Exactly.
Like, why? I don't need to, what? Money.
What crime would I commit? I would get rid of all of my debts. And then I would steal a couple billion. Not million, billion. If I would be able to do it. But see, during the purge, they're not going to let you do that. There's only certain things they'll let you do. But that white collar stuff, they ain't going to let you get away. Come on.
They let you just kill each other, right? You get to kill somebody.
Exactly. They're getting rid of another person. Come on, we don't need that body in around here anyway. Yeah, that's the only thing.
We need some population control.
Or still a TV or two. Yeah, they'll let you do that. Nah, I'm going to do something that's going to be worth it. Get rid of all my debts. And still a couple billion. And then after that, I ain't got to worry about nothing. I will live in my own gated community. Hire my own security so I can be safe. And I won't have to worry about nothing. That's if they'll let you get away with that. They're gonna let you, and you know they're not. So I'm not about to do it. I have no interest. If it's not gonna be a gain for me, then I have no interest in it.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate your honesty. At least I know y'all ain't not foolish. Like, oh, I'm about to go do that. Okay. All right, lovely people. Let's give it up to the co-host today. Let's give it up to Nick the Boy. She keeps it real. Y'all already know how she do. So thank you so much for coming on. Let's give it up for... There we have the lovely Amber D. Amber D, the analyst, always giving us some knowledge of what's going on and going to break the situation down to say, hey, this is what we need to do. So let's give it up for Amber D. All right. Hey, lovely people. Great topics today. Great show today. I want to give you today's footnote. But before I do that, we were talking about the Little Mermaid and how the younger black, or brown girls were excited because the Little Mermaid was black. And I just thought it was strange. I'm like, we're in 2022 and wow, these young girls are feeling like, whoa, she's black, and shocked and surprised. You have to monitor what your child watches. Let's think back and watch what you say too. It's really, really important. You had He-Man. What is he? He had the power. I got the power. So you're looking at this white guy with the power. I ain't trying to get y'all to change your mind, but I'm just saying what I'm saying. Just watch what you're doing. G.I. Joe. Hey, guess what? Join the military. You take a look at that. Humpty Dumpty. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. Was he pushed? Just things I'm just asking. You know what I'm saying? Then you had Ring Around the Roses. Those are things that we used to do back in the day. Ring around the rosy, pocket full of posies. That's poisonous flower, I thought. But y'all check into that, you know what I'm saying? Also, Rockin' My Baby. That one really bothered me, so I didn't allow mine to actually, I didn't sing it to him. I was like, no, we're not singing no Rock-a-bye baby. Rock my baby in the treetop. When the wind blows, the cradle will, fall? That don't sound like a good idea. You know what I'm saying? Why is the baby being rocked in a tree? And then the baby falls, so the baby will get injured. So listen, we got to realize what we are allowing our children to watch. We can monitor it. To me, in 2022, these young girls, I was excited for them, but why are they really surprised that it was a black mermaid? I just thought that was really different, but these are the things that go through my mind. So let me give you today's footnote before we end, okay? Today's footnote: realize that everything connects to everything else. Karma is something. Put good out so you can ensure that good comes back to you, okay? And that quote was by Leonardo da Vinci. All right. Hey, make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like us on Facebook. We're everywhere on your favorite podcast at Shop Talk with Mel. Shop Talk is one word, okay? So check us out later. And if you miss today's show live, you can always go back on the YouTube channel or on the podcast, Spreaker.com and all others. We're on Apple, Spotify, iHeart. We're there. Just look for Shop Talk with Mel. Shop Talk, one word. All right, lovely people, that is my time. I thoroughly enjoyed you, as I do each and every single Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. You know what it is. Find you, embrace you. Most importantly, always love you. Our slogan here is real. It's okay to be you. All right? All right, peace. Have a great week, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great week. And I mean it, okay?